28 лет, рост 188 сантиметров, вес 93,4 килограмма. Его стиль бразильское джиу-джитсу, а профессиональный рекорд 17 побед, 4 поражения. Ladies and gentlemen, he's 28 years old, standing 188 centimeters tall, official weight 93.4 kilos, professional record 17 victories and 4 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, he started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu representing Fortaleza, Ceará, Brazil. Here is Leonardo Silva. Его соперник красного угла, and his opponent fighting out of the red corner. Бойцу 26 лет, рост 183 сантиметра, вес 93,45 килограмма. Его стиль борьба, а профессиональный рекорд 8 побед, ни единого поражения. Ladies and gentlemen, he is 26 years old. He stands 183 centimeters tall, official weight 93.45 kilos. His style is wrestling and professional record 8 victories and no losses. Дамы и господа, из Махачкалы, Россия, не знающий поражений, the undefeated Magomedov. Рефери Максим Протасов.
So, Muslim Magomedov, Maxim Protasov is the referee in charge. I'm sorry. Muslim Magomedov against Leonardo Silva.
Here we come. Touching gloves. Oh, what a sportsmanship. That's good, and you hear the crowd. Big applause for that. But now less respect, more fight. According to the rules, of course. Leonardo Silva steps forward, trying to pressurize.
Tries to squeeze. Takes the center, and nice connection by Muslim Magomedov with the right hand.
Did he touch him?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
I did not notice that, unfortunately. So, but nevertheless, Silva is still on his feet. Continue going forward. So far, Muslim shows pretty good, pretty solid footwork, triggering the opponent, producing some fins. Oh, big left hand for Magomedov, but not good enough. Did not land.
I think Magomedov could definitely use the right hand, right cross, and maybe overhand right, because Silva holds his arms very low.
By the way, just like you heard, Muslim Magomedov has a wrestling background, and a good one too. This time it landed, that's for sure. So I think that Muslim will try to use this ability on his favor. And Silva comes forward with the low hands. Well, that's tricky. Well,
low kick by Silva.
Yeah, it was a good leg kick for Brazilians. And now we see that Silva tries to provocate Magomedov. He wants him to shoot, he wants him to punch, and he's ready to counter.
Nice connection by Silva, right to the body. And Magomedov starts to hold him at the fence.
And now Muslim Magomedov tries to use his advantages in wrestling, controlling the opponent against the cage. So far, he does not have a good grip and a good knee to the hip for Magomedov. Silva tries to scramble, tries to release his hands, and tries to tie his opponent's hands. And of course, he wants to defend himself from takedown.
As Magomedov takes the leg,
continues working on his takedown, and a good knee again, big knee to the hip from Muslim Magomedov.
Maybe he should use a sweep from this position and take his opponent down. Another connection by Magomedov.
And 2 minutes to go in the first round. I did not even notice how first 3 minutes passed, actually.
Both fighters return to the center. Another exchange, and as you can see, Silva connects with his knee right to the body. And I think it was close to the liver.
Good move by Muslim Magomedov. using his forehead to control the opponent, standing on their feet. Now the fighters decided to take a slight pause in order to rearrange something. And a single leg takedown attempt, it could be, but once again, nice defense from Silva.
Silva defends himself very well.
Yeah, sure.
And what a connection with the elbow by Silva. Very painful for Magomedov.
Just like we told you that Leonardo Silva is a very experienced fighter. He used to face good opposition. So he's a very tough guy to beat and even to take him down, just like we see. And we also understand that Muslim Magomedov spends a lot of powers trying to take him down, struggling. Some good uppercut from Muslim Magomedov.
And also Silva spends a lot of energy here defending himself, holding his opponent. Look at the connection of Magomedov. Another one.
Good combination from the Russian. And a single leg takedown. Yes.
Nicely done by Magomedov.
Leonardo Silva crawled up to the fence, and now he's against the cage, and of course he's going to use it in order to stand up because he does not want to stay in this position. Well, that's understandable. That's clear. Some body shots, and that's it for now. End of the first round. Well, speaking about the time control, I think that Muslim Magomedov had a slight advantage. And to my mind, Muslim Magomedov landed a little bit more shots than Leonardo Silva.
But does the judges score the control?
Well,
nobody knows.
Nobody knows, and
I think when it's close, they definitely have to score it. But if it's not,
well, we've talked to the judges many times, and we wanted them to explain us how do they score points. Speaking about the control, and most of them said that the control itself means nothing.
Yeah,
you have to
it
do
is not
damage.
scored.
You have to do that. You have to produce shots. You have to produce takedown attempts and takedowns, and afterwards you have to stay in control.
Yeah.
The control itself is nothing.
Yeah, but if there is no any damage,
Yeah.
if there is no punches, how they score the round if it's not, if it is only control?
Well, David, it's up to them. It's up to them. They are humans, and they decide whatever it is. Some judge scores in one way, the other judge scores it another way. So let's stick to the fight. This is the round number 2, and good sprawling from Leonardo Silva.
Magomedov takes the leg, but Silva sprawls.
And we see that Silva controls the opponent's foot, producing good body shots.
And
excellent
as you can
counter
see,
move from Magomedov, and now he's on top in half guard position. So let's see what Muslim Magomedov is about to do.
and what Silva is capable of, defending himself
on his back. Definitely.
Yes.
We're going to find out if he is good enough in his ground game. But so far, Muslim Magomedov is active. He's busy enough, producing some good shots to the body and to the head and trying to trap the opponent's right hand. But we see that so far, Leonardo Silva shows good defensive game.
And from this position, Magomedov definitely can regain his composure, his endurance, and work. And that's exactly what he does with the left hand.
Yeah, I think that he even doesn't need to release his right leg in order to get to the side control. He's feeling himself comfortable here in this position, using the left hand, elbows, strikes, hammer fists, and most of these shots are landing. 2 minutes passed, by the way. So far, Muslim Magomedov is in control. He's on top.
Tries to go to the side control right now and switch off the hand. But Silva understands how he has to defend himself here.
Yeah, I do agree, and actually Leonardo Silva gets some damage, but it's not critical for the Brazilians so far, because of course it can be cumulative. These damage can be cumulative, and if he will eat these shots one after another, and if he will not defend himself properly, of course that will decide. That will be the key for Muslim Magomedov to get the knockout victory or technical knockout victory. Maybe. So we cannot predict it for sure. And a deep half guard position for Muslim Magomedov, and a very, very good position for him to improve, to produce shots, to produce the control. And so that is exactly very important what he does.
Another elbow by Magomedov, delivered and connected. That's a total domination in the second round by Magomedov.
That's for sure. And now we see that Muslim tries to release his right leg, maybe to get the side control. Oh, big elbow from the left by the Russian. And 90 seconds to go. We see that Muslim Magomedov has enough powers to continue working like this. He's not going to stop. So I think that Leonardo Silva needs to tie the opponent up. He needs to immobilize him in order to make Maxim Protasov to put them back on their feet. Because so far as I can see, Leonardo Silva has no ways out of this position of here. And
he
we
can't
see
escape. Another switch off of the left.
Yeah, he trapped. Yeah, he trapped the hand. And so Muslim Magomedov starts to engage, he starts to work, but
tries to dismantle his opponent's will to continue.
Leonardo Silva tries to defend himself. He needs to survive, and 40 seconds he has, beg your pardon, in order to make it perfect position for Magomedov to produce maximum damage, maybe to make the opponent tap, if he will be able, of course, to do it, or make Maxim Protasov to stop the fight, to interrupt.
And the side control by Magomedov, working from here.
And the Muslim gets back to half guard position in 10 seconds. And it's clear as day that Leonardo Silva will survive and he will get to the third round.
Is it 10-8?
Well, not sure, but maybe it will be. But
well, it's not. If it's not, it should be, I think, because Leonardo Silva didn't do anything in the second round.
yeah, he was just laying on his back, taking the damage, taking the shots, and not even thinking about scrambling or submitting the opponent, just defending himself. Well, what do you think if he had really big damage, well, that could eventually hurt him? What do you think about that, David? Well, we see that Leonardo Silva is pretty exhausted, he's pretty tired. He's breathing heavily. He had enough punishment during the second round. So this will be, the round number 3 will be decisive for Leonardo Silva if he does really want to get the win.
And Muslim Magomedov seems to be very fresh so far. Cannot say the same about Leonardo Silva.
Well, I think that this is because of the fact that he did not have enough reasons to get tired. Because during the whole second round, he was on top, he was dominating, not losing powers.
And
working
not
smart.
using power.
Sure, working smart.
Another takedown attempt
And
by Magomedov.
Good sprawl from Silva, but I'm more than sure that it was not the last attempt from Muslim Magomedov to take the opponent down.
And right now Silva has to be aware of his takedowns.
Sure, and maybe he needs to produce some counters like Jorge Masvidal in the fight against Ben Askren or something like that. But we see that Leonardo Silva went forward, and now he's in control. He pushes the opponent against the cage, pushes him to the fence, and we'll see what is he going to do here.
Maybe he wants to surprise Muslim Magomedov by his ability to take him down, but I don't think so. I think Leonardo Silva should have worked in a longer distance. Use it. And another connection by Muslim Magomedov.
Big right hand from the Russian. 1-2.
Nice 1-2.
Well, I think that all these shots were produced only to switch the attention from these takedowns.
Of course.
So that is exactly what Muslim Magomedov did, and it worked. So now his opponent is on his back and he needs to defend himself, and as far as we could see from the previous round, well, it never happened.
Yeah.
So this is the best position for Muslim Magomedov in this particular fight. Maybe, well, we cannot say that it will be the most explosive fight in MMA history, the most sparkling and...
Yeah, it's rather pedestrian, but still useful for Silva's experience and for experience of Muslim Magomedov.
Of course, and when the fight will be done and when the winner will be announced, who is going to remember of the way of the fight?
Yeah.
Nobody will. Everybody will remember the results. And that's a good position, by the way, for Muslim Magomedov, and he needs to use proper shots, stronger shots, harder shots.
Sharp shots, I would say.
And Maxim Protasov warns Leonardo Silva. He says that he needs to stay in defense and to be more active, otherwise it could be a technical knockout if Leonardo Silva will not defend himself solidly.
Yeah.
The fight will be stopped, that for sure, because 2 minutes to go in this fight, and it's pretty long, especially in this position.
And he's not able to respond on that. Another connection by Magomedov.
But unfortunately for Muslim Magomedov, he lands these shots, but they are not, I think, strong enough. They are not crisp enough to stun Leonardo Silva and or to make Maxim Protasov, the referee, to stop the fight. But still, Muslim Magomedov is on top. He's getting points, he's in control, and he's doing everything to win this fight.
It's actually very similar how Ben Askren worked. Without any power in his punches, he was winning every fight. Before the UFC, of course.
And here comes full mount position, and that can cause big trouble for Leonardo Silva. But it gets back to half guard. Well, speaking about Ben Askren, well, you remember why he was fired from the Bellator without any loss.
Yeah.
Because his fights were so boring that they put the audience into sleep. So that's why they said that's enough.
But still, he accomplished his mission.
Exactly. He was undefeated. He was the champion.
Title holder.
Yes, for a long time. Well, and afterwards he moved to one championship and he continued dominating there. Nice connection from Muslim Magomedov, by the way, with the left hand. He continues to punish and to punch his opponent, trying to trap the opponent's defense. Trying to tie him up, and maybe it could be a Kimura submission, maybe.
Maybe, no. Yep, it's very close.
Or an armbar. And you hear the crowd, they understand that it could be.
He's going to extend an arm. No, he's not.
Leonardo Silva scrambles and tries to sweep, and once again he gets on his back, but it doesn't matter because the time expires. And this is it for now. End of the fight. Well, I think that Muslim Magomedov has done it. I think that he won the fight. Well,
no doubt about that. He did everything right. He controlled his opponent on the ground.
He did it in a very confident manner. Well, just like we told you that it was not explosive. It was not a dog fight. It was not toe-to-toe, a bone fight. I don't know how to explain it.
But it was a complete domination.
Yeah, definitely. Perfect ground game for Muslim Magomedov that will bring him the victory today, that's for sure.
And that's Khabib style.
Exactly.
The switch of the arm.
And by the way, the great champion Khabib was criticized many times by the fans that he did not show good fights, only staying on top, just controlling and hitting and nothing more. But who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Definitely.
if you criticize, so step into the cage and try to do something with this. Trying to avoid this control.
As a striker.
Exactly, exactly. And if it is possible, ask Conor McGregor or Edson Barboza or Michael Johnson if did they manage to do anything.
Единогласным решением судей одержал победу и остается не знающим поражений. Your winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated Muslim Magomedov. Махачкала, Россия.
Muslim Magomedov is the winner, and big applause from the audience to him. It was a dominant performance.